The arena on Zereth Prime was so huge that even a human could get lost in its shadows. Tall stone towers circled the battlefield, glowing with blue alien symbols. Thousands of alien citizens filled the seats, their voices loud, tense, and confused. Today was not a normal day. Today was the day Princess Lyria would call for the ancient strength oath, a challenge so dangerous that even the bravest alien warriors feared it. Lyria stood in the center of the arena, her silver armor shining. Under the twin suns, her long dark hair moved in the wind, and her purple eyes held both sadness and strength. She took a deep breath. She was young, but the weight of an entire clan sat on her shoulders. Her clan was dying slowly, losing power, losing hope. Only a chosen warrior, one brave enough to face the Void Beast, could restore their honor and future. She raised her voice so everyone could hear. Who will accept the strength oath? Who will stand beside me and protect our future? The arena fell silent. Warriors who once fought great battles now looked down at their feet. Some shifted uncomfortably. Others shook their heads. No one stepped forward. No one even spoke. Lyria felt her heart squeeze. She had expected hesitation, but not this complete. Fear. She lifted her chin again, trying to sound stronger. Is there no one brave enough? Her voice echoed, but still no answer came. Up in the visitor stands, a human man named Evan watched the scene with confusion. He had come to Zereth Prime as a simple cultural exchange visitor. He was not a soldier. He was not a warrior. He had no special powers, no armor, no fame. He was just a human who liked exploring alien worlds. But something about the princess's voice touched him deeply. Evan had seen bravery in many forms on Earth firefighters, teachers, parents working day and night. But he had never seen a whole army too scared to move. He leaned forward, studying Lyria. She looked strong but lonely. Proud but hurting. Something inside him told him that nobody should stand alone like that. Nearby aliens whispered loudly about him. Humans are weak. He would die instantly. He does not understand our ways. Evan ignored them. He kept watching the princess. She raised her hand again. Please, someone must come forward. Her voice cracked, just a little. But Evan heard it. He felt something unusual, like a pull, like a need to act. He didn't understand their traditions, but he understood one thing. She was asking for help, and nobody was helping. Slowly, Evan stood. At first, no one noticed. Then a few saw him and laughed. The human? Sit down before you embarrass yourself. Go home, little Earthman. But Evan didn't sit. He walked down the steps, his heart pounding. He wasn't fearless, but he refused to walk away from someone who needed courage. Lyria stared forward, ready to accept that her people had failed her. She opened her mouth to end the ceremony, and then she heard footsteps, soft, slow, human. Footsteps. Everyone turned. The arena gasped. A human man was walking onto the battlefield. Evan stepped onto the sand, his simple clothes covered in dust, but his eyes clear and steady. Lyria blinked, confused. What are you doing? She whispered. Evan looked around at the huge alien crowd, then back at her. I don't know all your rules, he said softly, but you asked if someone is brave enough. The entire arena froze. Even the wind seemed to stop. Evan stood taller than before. Well, I will. Silence. Complete silence. Then shouting. Some aliens laughed. Some screamed in anger. Others stared in disbelief. The human accepted the oath. He is insane. He will not survive 1 hour. Lyria felt her breath catch. She had expected many things today, shame, fear, disappointment, but she never imagined a human would step forward. She studied Evan's face. He was scared, yes, but he was also determined. His eyes didn't look away. For the first time in many years, the princess felt a spark of hope. She lifted her hand, and the arena quieted. "The human has spoken," she declared. "And I accept his courage." Evan exhaled slowly. He had no idea what he just agreed to, but he knew one thing. He would not step back. Not now, not after saying, "I will." And from that moment, the fate of two worlds began to change. Evan stood in the arena, feeling thousands of alien eyes burning into him. He could hear the murmurs. Some were angry, some confused, and some simply amused. A human accepting the strength oath? It had never happened in the history of Zereth Prime. Humans were visitors, traders, peaceful explorers, not warriors. But Evan stayed where he was, feet planted firmly in the sand. Princess Lyria looked at him with a mix of surprise and disbelief. She stepped closer, her glowing armor reflecting in his eyes. "Human, do you understand what you are accepting?" Evan shook his head honestly. "Not really. But I understand you needed someone, and no one else stepped forward." The simplicity of his words struck her harder than any warrior's promise. This man did not speak of glory, or honor, or reward. He spoke of help, something her own people had refused her. The alien council rushed into the arena, their long cloaks dragging behind them. High Advisor Krell, a tall alien with sharp blue markings, raised his voice. "Princess, this is unacceptable. A human cannot take the oath. It is against our tradition." Lyria didn't step back. "Tradition did not save my clan. Tradition did not give us courage. If the human is willing, I accept him." The arena reacted again, louder this time. Some aliens were furious. Others were curious. But none could deny the truth. Evan had shown more bravery in 1 minute than all their warriors had shown in a lifetime. Krell glared at Evan. "Human, you will face the void beast. You will die. Is this what you want?" Evan's heart pounded, but he lifted his chin. "I don't want to die, but I won't walk away." Princess Lyria watched him carefully. She could see fear in his eyes, but it did not control him. That alone made him different from her people. She placed her hand on her chest, the sign of royal acceptance. "Then the oath begins now." Guards escorted Evan to the preparation chambers under the arena. The air inside smelled like metal and old stone. Strange weapons and armor lined the walls. Evan touched nothing. He didn't know how any of it worked. He sat on a stone bench, trying to calm the pounding in his chest. Soft sound came from the doorway. Lyria entered, her armor now removed, wearing a simple training outfit. She looked less like a princess and more like a real person, tired, burdened, but strong. "You should know the truth," she said quietly. "The Void Beast has killed every warrior who tried to complete the oath. It is not just a normal creature. It is ancient energy, alive, hungry, angry." Evan swallowed hard. "Why does your clan need someone to face it?" Lyria hesitated. Then she sat across from him. "Because the one who survives becomes my protector, my chosen partner. My clan believes only a warrior who defeats the beast has the strength to save our future." Evan froze. He had expected danger, not this. "So if someone wins, they become important to you?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, but no one has ever won." Evan rubbed his face. "And you still accepted me?" Lyria met his eyes. "You stepped forward when no one else did. I saw courage. That is worth more than strength." Her words made a strange warmth spread through his chest. He didn't know why. Before he could speak, loud alarms echoed through the chamber. A deep voice called, "Training begins now. Human, prepare yourself." Lyria stood and gestured for him to follow. They walked into a training room filled with sand, glowing obstacles, and floating drones. She handed him a simple practice staff. He held it awkwardly. "I have no idea what I'm doing." "I know," she said gently. "But you have something our warriors don't have." "What's that?" "Instinct, adaptability. Humans change quickly. You fight with heart, not with fear." She moved. behind him, guiding his hands. Their closeness made his pulse jump. She showed him how to stand, how to swing, how to dodge. He stumbled many times, but he learned fast. By the end of the session, he was sweating, tired, but more confident. Lyria looked at him with new respect. "You are not like the others." Evan smiled weakly. "That's what my teachers used to say." For the first time, she laughed softly. It was a warm, honest sound that echoed in the training hall. But outside, unseen by them, dark eyes were watching. Not everyone wanted the human to succeed, and some were already planning to stop him before he ever reached the Void Beast. Evan stood at the entrance of the ancient training grounds, a place older than any city on Zereth Prime. The stone doors opened slowly, releasing cold air filled with strange electric currents. The ground inside the arena glowed with deep red lines that formed patterns he didn't understand. It felt like stepping into the heart of a storm. Even from a distance, he could sense something watching him, something powerful, something alive. Princess Lyria walked beside him, her expression serious. She stopped at the doorway, knowing she could not enter. "This place tests more than strength," she said softly. "It tests the mind, the heart, and the spirit. The Void Beast reacts to fear. If you panic, it grows stronger." Evan tried to breathe slowly, but his hands trembled. "How do I fight something like that?" "You don't fight right away," she replied. "You learn, you watch, you survive." He nodded, even though fear pressed on his chest. Lyria placed her hand lightly on his arm. "Then, remember, you are not alone in this. I believe in you." Her voice gave him a strange calm. He stepped inside, and the stone doors closed behind him with a heavy echo. Silence. Deep, unnatural silence. Evan walked slowly across the glowing sand. Every step made the air shimmer. Shadows moved on the walls, even though there was no sun. He felt like the room itself had eyes. A sudden vibration shook the ground. Evan froze. From the far corner of the arena, a huge shape rose, slowly unfolding, like a living storm cloud. The Void Beast revealed itself, its body made of dark liquid energy, its eyes two swirling lights that changed color every second. It did not walk. It floated, leaving trails of light beneath it. Evan stepped back, heart hammering. "Oh, wow. That's not something you see on Earth," he whispered. The creature let out a low, vibrating growl that shook the whole arena. But Evan noticed something strange. It did not attack immediately. It watched him, just like he watched it. He remembered Lyria's words. "Watch first. Learn first." So he did. For several minutes, he slowly moved to the side, studying the beast's movements. Every time he stepped closer, the creature shifted its head. Every time he stepped back, it calmed. "It reacts to distance," Evan murmured. "Not just fear." He walked in a circle, and the creature followed. It was not wild, it was intelligent, curious, testing him. Then the ground cracked and a burst of energy shot up. Evan jumped to the side just in time. The beast's attack left a crater where he had stood. "Okay, that's bad," he muttered, running. Another blast followed. This time he rolled out of the way, sand burning his skin. His heartbeat thundered, his breathing fast, but he didn't fall apart. He kept observing. He noticed a pattern. The beast glowed brighter before each attack. A warning. A rhythm. "You have a tell," Evan said, wiping sweat from his face. "You're not unbeatable. You can be read." The Void Beast roared loudly, as if understanding his words. It rushed at him, its body growing larger, forming sharp edges of energy. Evan dodged left, then right, almost slipping. The beast crashed into the ground, missing him by inches. He felt a spark of confidence. "I can do this. I just need to stay smart." Outside the arena, Lyria watched through a glowing window. Her hands were gripping the stone edge tightly. When Evan dodged an attack, she exhaled in relief. When he fell, she gasped softly. She had seen many warriors try this trial. None of them lasted this long on their first day. Humans. She whispered, almost amazed. So small, yet so stubborn. Inside, Evan continued studying the beast. Each time he survived an attack, he learned something new: how the creature shifted weight, how its energy pulsed, how its rage changed color. Hours passed. Evan was exhausted, bruised, and dirty. But he was still alive. And the beast, once full of confidence, now moved slower, watching him with confusion. Evan laughed breathlessly. "You didn't expect me to last. Neither did I." For the first time, the void beast backed away, not from fear, but from respect. When the final bell rang, signaling the end of the training session, Evan collapsed to his knees. The stone doors opened, and Lyria rushed inside. She knelt beside him, eyes full of shock and pride. "Evan, no one has ever lasted this long on the first trial." He smiled weakly. "I'm not like the others." She helped him stand, her hands steadying his shaking body. "No, you are not." What neither of them knew was that surviving the first trial had changed something deep inside the void beast. And something even deeper inside, Evan. Evan lay on a stone bed inside the recovery chamber, breathing slowly as the healing lights above him glowed soft blue. His arms were bruised, his clothes torn, and sand still clung to his hair. Even though he was exhausted, a quiet pride rested in his chest. He had survived the first trial, something no alien warrior had ever done on their first day. But while Evan rested, Princess Lyria stood outside the chamber door, staring at him through the glass. Her face was calm, but her heart was trembling. He had pushed himself far beyond what she expected. And because of that, she knew she could not keep the truth from him any longer. When Evan finally sat up, Lyria entered the room. She still wore her simple training outfit, not her royal armor. Her hair was down, falling softly around her shoulders. She looked less like a leader of a dying clan and more like a young woman trying not to break under pressure. He gave her a tired smile. "You came to check if I'm still alive?" A small laugh escaped her. "I knew you would be. Humans. You surprise me every moment." Evan rubbed his sore arm. "That creature almost turned me into dust. How did your people ever face it?" Lyria's smile faded. "Many tried. None returned." There was a long silence. Evan sensed she was hiding something behind her eyes, something heavy. "Lyria," he said gently, "there's something you're not telling me. What is the real reason for this challenge?" Her breath caught. For the first time, she looked nervous to speak. She sat beside him, folding her hands in her lap. "My clan believes in a very old rule," she began softly. "Whoever defeats the void beast becomes bound to the princess. It is not just to protect me. It is to become my chosen partner, my mate." Evan blinked, stunned. He had not expected the word mate. "So if someone wins the trials, they marry you?" Lyria nodded slowly. "Yes." Evan's mouth fell open. "Okay, that's a lot." She lowered her eyes. "I did not choose this rule. It is forced by tradition. My clan believes only a warrior brave enough to defeat the beast has the strength to lead beside me. Without a chosen partner, the royal line ends. And if the royal line ends, my people fall into chaos." Evan felt a tightness in his chest. He didn't know what shocked him more, the responsibility, or the fact that she carried it alone. "Why didn't you tell everyone this during the ceremony?" Evan asked. Lyria's voice turned quiet. "Because I knew no one would accept. They fear the beast too much, and they fear me. Because they think I bring misfortune." Evan frowned. "Misfortune?" She stood and walked to the glowing window, looking out into the night sky. Zereth's twin moons reflected in her eyes. "When I was born," she whispered, "my clan suffered great losses. Storms, sickness, war. They blamed my birth. They said I carried a cursed destiny. So every warrior who tried to stand beside me fell in battle. They believe I bring death. Evan felt anger rise inside him. Not at her, but at the cruelty she had faced. That's not your fault, he said firmly. You didn't cause any of that. She turned slightly, surprised by how certain he sounded. You stepped forward for me, she whispered. Not for my throne, not for power, just because you heard me ask for help. No warrior has ever done that. Evan shrugged softly, though his chest felt warm. When someone needs help, you help them. That's just human. Lyria stepped closer, studying him. Her expression softened in a way he had not seen before, gentle, grateful, almost tender. Human heart. She murmured, "It is different. Your bravery is not loud or violent. It is quiet, steady, pure." He chuckled weakly. Pure fear, maybe. She laughed again, a small warm sound. But then her face grew serious once more. "There is something else you must know," she said. "The beast. It grows stronger each day. If you continue the trials, you risk more than your life. You risk becoming a part of its energy, lost forever." Evan looked down at his hands. They were shaking, not with fear, but with the weight of the truth. He finally understood why every warrior refused. But he also understood something else. "I'm not quitting," he said quietly. "I gave my word." Lyria's eyes widened. "Even after knowing all this?" He nodded. "Yes, because someone believes you're cursed. Someone believes you're alone. That's not fair. And I won't let fear decide everything." A soft, emotional breath escaped her lips. "Evan, you are changing everything." But neither of them noticed the shadow moving quietly outside the chamber door, one belonging to someone who did not want the human to survive the next trial. Evan woke the next morning with aching muscles and a heavy mind. The truth Lyria revealed the night before still echoed in his thoughts. He was not just fighting for survival, he was fighting for her future, for a clan that didn't believe in itself anymore, for a kingdom built on fear. But even with all that weight on his shoulders, he felt strangely calm. He had made his choice. Lyria met him near the training grounds, her expression mixed with concern and something softer. "Are you sure you want to continue?" she asked. "You are still injured. You can rest another day." Evan shook his head. "If the beast gets stronger every day, then I don't have time to rest." This answer made Lyria hide a small smile. His determination warmed something inside her, something she thought had died long ago. But as they walked toward the practice arena, Lyria suddenly stopped. Her eyes narrowed, sensing something in the air. "The guards. They are missing," she whispered. "They always stand here at this hour." Evan frowned. "Maybe they were called somewhere else?" Lyria shook her head. "No, something is wrong." Before she could explain, loud footsteps echoed behind them. A group of alien warriors appeared from the shadows, their faces hard and unfriendly. At their center stood High Advisor Krell, his blue markings glowing sharply with anger. "Krell," Lyria hissed, "what are you doing here?" The advisor stepped forward, ignoring her question. His eyes stayed locked on Evan. "The human should not be here. He is a threat. He is an outsider. And he cannot be allowed to continue the trials." Evan took a step back, instantly understanding what was happening. "So this is how it is. You're going to stop me by force?" Krell smiled coldly. "You misunderstand. I am not stopping you. I am protecting our princess from a false champion." Lyria moved in front of Evan like a shield. "You will not touch him," she snapped. But Krell's eyes darkened. "Princess, you are blinded by desperation. This human will kill our hope, not save it. We must remove him before he gets any closer to victory." The warriors stepped forward, surrounding Evan. He raised his fists. Even though he knew he was outnumbered and still injured, Lyria reached for her communication badge. "Guards, Emergency in the Krell moved faster than she expected. He snatched the badge from her hand and crushed it under his boot. "No guards today," he said. "This is between us." Evan stood his ground, breathing heavily. "You could have challenged me in front of everyone," he said. "But you hid in the shadows." Krell's face twisted. "Honor is for equals. You are not one of us." His warriors rushed at Evan. Evan blocked the first punch, dodged the second. But the third hit him hard in the ribs. Pain shot through his side. He stumbled back, yet he didn't fall. He fought with what little strength he had, ducking, swinging, trying to stay on his feet. One warrior grabbed his arm, twisting it painfully. Evan cried out. Another kicked him in the leg, sending him to one knee. "Stop!" Lyria shouted, stepping forward. "If you hurt him, you answer to me." Krell grabbed her wrist and shoved her aside. "You will thank me when this human is gone." Evan struggled to stand again, blood on his lip. He glared at Krell. "I didn't come here to steal your power. I came because she needed someone." Krell sneered. "Exactly, and that is why you must die." He raised a blade, thin, sharp, glowing with dark energy. Lyria gasped, rushing toward them, but before the blade could fall, a loud metallic cry shook the training hall. The doors burst open, and royal guards stormed inside, weapons drawn. "Stand down!" the lead guard roared. "By royal order, no. Harm may come to the chosen challenger." Krell's face twisted with fury as guards pulled him and his warriors back. Lyria ran to Evan, dropping beside him. "Evan!" She touched his face gently. "Are you hurt badly?" He winced but tried to smile. "I've been better." Her eyes filled with anger, not at him, but at her own clan. "They fear you," she whispered, "not because you are weak, but because you are proving their weakness." Evan clenched his fists, pushing himself to sit up. "Then I'll keep proving it." Lyria felt something shift inside her, a feeling deeper than respect. Deeper than duty. "Evan, you are becoming more than a challenger." But before she could finish, a guard approached with a grim expression. "Princess!" The void beast has sensed the disturbance. It has grown stronger. The next trial will be far more dangerous. Lyria looked at Evan, fear flickering in her eyes, and Evan, injured and bruised, only whispered one sentence. "I'm still not quitting." Evan stood at the mouth of the ancient trial arena once again, but this time the air felt different, heavier, colder, almost alive with warning. After the attack from Krell and his warriors, his ribs still throbbed with pain. His arm felt stiff. Every breath hurt. But even with all the injuries, he walked forward with steady steps. Lyria walked beside him, her pace slower, her eyes full of worry she couldn't hide. "Evan, you don't have to do this today. You are hurt. Your body is not ready." He gave her a tired smile. "If I wait, the beast grows stronger. I won't win by waiting." Lyria's throat tightened. She admired his courage. But she feared his courage too. "At least take more guards with you. Or let our healers know." Evan shook his head. "This is my trial. I finish it myself." Her eyes softened, full of emotion she couldn't name. "Then, promise me one thing." "What?" "Promise me you will try to return alive." Evan hesitated, then nodded slowly. "I'll try, for you." Those simple words made her heart tremble, but she said nothing. She only watched as he entered the chamber again, and the stone. Doors sealed shut behind him. Inside, darkness filled the arena. The glowing sand shifted by itself, reacting to Evan's presence. Strange whispers echoed through the walls, as if the air remembered every warrior who died inside. Evan stepped forward, bruises burning with each movement. He looked up at the floating lights dimmed today, as though the arena sensed danger. Then he felt it, a vibration in the ground, a deep rumble. A wave of cold pressure. The void beast appeared again, but this time it was larger. much larger. Its swirling energy pulsed violently, its eyes glowing like burning stars. It had sensed the chaos outside, sensed Evan's injuries, sensed fear in the kingdom, and it was hungry. Evan's breath caught. His mind screamed that he should run, but his feet stayed firm. "All right," he whispered. "Round 2. The beast roared, creating a shockwave that sent him skidding across the sand. Pain erupted through his side. He barely rolled away before a blast of energy hit the ground where he had fallen. Outside, Lyria watched through the viewing window. Tears stung her eyes as she saw Evan thrown again and again. "He's hurt too badly. He can't keep this up," she whispered. A guard beside her dared to speak. "Princess, if he falls, we must pull him out." Lyria clenched her fists. "No, he chose this, and I will honor his choice." Inside the arena, Evan forced himself to his feet. He studied the beast again, its energy patterns, its glowing pulses. He remembered the rhythm he had seen before. The beast brightened before every strike. But today, the pattern was faster, sharper, harder to read. Still, he focused. His strength was not in power, it was in thinking. "Come on," he murmured, dodging another blast. "Show me your weakness." The beast rushed at him, its shadow stretching across the arena. Evan sprinted to the left, then the right, using broken stones as cover. His breath was ragged, his vision shaking, but he kept moving. Then he saw it. A flicker in the beast's center, a small glowing point deep inside its swirling body. He hadn't noticed it before, because it flashed only when the beast overcharged its energy. "That's it," Evan whispered. "Your core." But he couldn't reach it with his strength alone. He needed the beast to trap itself. He needed it to attack with everything it had got, so Evan stepped into the open. He dropped his stance. He allowed the beast to see him fully. The creature roared with triumph and charged, its whole body glowing bright red. Lyria gasped from the viewing window. "No, Evan, run." But Evan didn't run. He sprinted toward a broken section of the arena, a place where ancient energy coils crackled with unstable power. The beast followed, lunging at him with everything it had got at the last second. Evan dropped flat to the ground. The beast flew over him straight into the energy coils. A massive explosion of light filled the arena. The beast screamed, its body twisting violently as the energy trap wrapped around it. Evan covered his head, the light burning his eyes. When the glow faded, the void beast collapsed, its form slowly dissolving into gentle sparks that floated upward, then vanished. Silence, complete, heavy silence. Evan lay on the ground, breathing in short, painful gasps. The doors opened. Lyria rushed inside, falling to her knees beside him. Evan, look at me." He forced a weak smile. I won." Her hands cupped his face, her eyes shining with relief and something deeper, something she was afraid to name. "You didn't just win," she whispered. "You did the impossible." The guards bowed in respect. The arena lights brightened. The ground hummed with approval. For the first time in centuries, a challenger had defeated the void beast, and he was human. The entire kingdom of Zereth Prime held its breath as news spread. The void beast had fallen. A human, the outsider everyone mocked, defeated the creature no alien warrior could survive. Crowds gathered outside the arena, waiting for proof. They wanted to see if the impossible had truly happened. They wanted to see the man who had changed their fate. Inside the healing chamber, Evan lay on a medical bed as bright healing light washed over him. His body trembled with exhaustion, every muscle aching, but he was alive. Barely, but alive. Princess Lyria stood beside him, her hands clasped tightly in front of her. She did not hide her emotions anymore. The tears on her cheeks were real relief. Pride, disbelief, and something much deeper. When Evan slowly opened his eyes, she leaned closer. You came back, she whispered. He gave a weak smile. I made you a promise. Her breath trembled. She touched his hand gently, as if afraid he would slip away again. You kept it. Even when the whole world thought you would fail. Evan chuckled softly, but it hurt his ribs. I guess humans don't know when to quit. Lyria laughed through her tears, a sound filled with life. No, you don't. Before she could say more, the chamber doors opened. High Advisor Krell entered with guards at his side. His expression was tense, but not angry this time, more shocked than anything. Lyria stepped forward immediately. Krell, if you have come to challenge this victory. Krell raised both hands. Princess, I cannot challenge what all of Xerath has witnessed. He turned toward Evan, his proud posture lowering in humility. You fought with courage, our warriors lost long ago. You defeated the beast. Something our history said was impossible. For this, I offer respect. Evan blinked. Respect from you? Krell nodded. My fears blinded me. But your actions opened my eyes. The clan must follow the law. And the law says the one who defeats the void beast becomes the princess's chosen protector. Lyria's heart pounded. She knew this moment would come, yet facing it felt unreal. She turned toward Evan, her voice soft. Evan, do you understand what this means? He swallowed, suddenly nervous. I think so. But I want to hear it from you. She stepped closer, her hands trembling slightly. It means you will stand beside me, not just as a warrior, but as my partner, my equal. The one the clan accepts as their future. Evan's breath caught. He looked into her eyes full of fear, hope, strength, and something tender. I didn't fight for a title, he said softly. I fought because you needed someone. Because you were standing alone. Lyria's chest tightened. And you came to me when no one else did. Silence filled the chamber. Deep, emotional silence. Then Evan reached for her hand. If standing beside you is the next step, then I won't run from it. Her eyes widened, shimmering with emotion. Slowly, she intertwined her fingers with his. You accept then, he smiled. I accept. Krell bowed deeply. Then the kingdom will honor this bond. Preparations for the unity ceremony begin at once. The guards saluted. Outside, the crowd erupted in cheers as word spread. The human is chosen. The human is the new protector of the royal line. But Evan and Lyria barely heard the noise. They were lost in their own quiet moment. When the cheering grew louder, Lyria stepped closer to him. She spoke softly, only for him to hear. Evan, you changed everything. You changed me. He smiled gently. You changed me too. She helped him stand, supporting him carefully. Though his body was weak, his spirit felt stronger than ever. Together, they walked toward the balcony overlooking the arena. When the doors opened, a wave of sound crashed over them, thousands of voices shouting Evan's name. Aliens who once mocked him now bowed. Warriors placed their weapons on the ground in salute. Children waved flags. Elders cheered with trembling voices. Evan stared in disbelief. They're cheering for me. Lyria nodded proudly. You earned every voice. She raised Evan's hand high, and the crowd roared. For centuries, she announced, her voice strong, we searched for courage in the wrong places. Today, courage came from the one we least expected. Today, a human reminded us who we truly are. The crowd roared again as Lyria turned to Evan, her eyes warm and bright. Welcome, Evan, to your new home. And in that moment, under the twin suns, surrounded by a kingdom he had saved, Evan realized something simple and powerful. He had not just stepped forward for a challenge. He had stepped forward into a destiny. A new chapter for him, for Lyria, and for the entire galaxy had just begun.